Okay, I think we are good to start. I hope everyone is having a good evening so far and has had a good weekend and beginning of the week. I am hoping tonight to actually have Abaddon finished. Funny enough, that is my plan and goal. I don't know if I'll be getting there tonight, but this will probably be the last stream I do having, or at least do Abaddon at least. Wow, I'm getting tongue twisted. Let's just get into painting. It has been a minute. Okay. I need to remember where I left off with painting. I think I was going to do the sword. That was going to be my next big project to do on Mr. Abaddon. And then from there, probably should work on the other metallic bits. And then move on to skin colors and bone. And probably do a little bit of cleanup. There is a few spots that could use some cleanup, I can see, but other than that, I do know I still have his base to do and his cloak. That's the last thing I got to glue on him, but I wanted to get as much as I can painted before I really did that. Kind of like re-looking at some of the stuff I have here. Don't mind me, I just got to really shake up this paint. It's separated very well from the last time I've used it. Okay. This is way too far forward. This can come back to me. There we go. I don't know how well this will work for the shading and stuff. Honestly, this paint used to be my favorite, but then I realized how poorly mixed I had it, and then it became not one of my favorite paints to use anymore. It's just such a brighter blue before, but it's still a good paint. Get both sides going. I'd say for myself, my week has gone good so far. I had a rough start to the weekend. I was planning on doing a bunch of stuff outside and being out and about, but my plans got canceled. The personal stuff, and got stuck at home all day. So I'm a little bit I'm a little bit too much homebound, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I want to be out and about. But I can't be out and about right now. I am excited to be here and streaming in front of everyone right now. Always feels like it's way too long of a gap in between streams. Like, on Tuesday, it always feels awkward getting back on stream and chatting with everybody, but once that ball starts rolling, it just kind of goes easier. And then it's like, oh, the weekend comes up and I don't do anything for those 2 days, and then it's like, oh, I forgot how to talk again. That's how I feel every time. I did forget, or I didn't really know, that part of the sword is supposed to be red, but I'll worry about that later. I think I am going to start taking it those couple steps further to make it look like a badass power sword. I do have it pulled out already. So I'm going to hit it first with the Regal Blue, and then go up into Hydra Turquoise, and finish off with Frost Blue if I can. Maybe this was too bright of a blue to go into for the first try. Also would have been smarter if I probably start from the tip and work my way down in brightness. No. Think of it as a flame. A flame is usually brightest at the base and gets duller the further away from its source. It's been a minute. I'm going to try giving it that flaming sword motif. Make it be the opposite of Gilliman's. Instead of a red flaming sword, this is a blue flaming one. It's hotter, burning with the... It's literally burning with the flames of hell itself. That's kind of the thought. I'd really like to try and do something cool with this, but I just can't think of a... Like, it'd be cool to actually do like a power sword look on it, but I'm not good at doing that metallic checkered look on power swords. want to see if I can at least... Is that a bunch of faces screaming in it? Okay, okay. I think I can work with what I got. This might be too bright of a jump, but we are going to try it. Okay. I think I got an idea now. Yeah, I have an idea now. I used to do a flaming sword on every single model that a power sword, because I wanted to be this like, oh, my chapter instead of like having blue power swords was like a flaming sword motif, and they're all blue because blue's the hottest flame color. I mean, besides white, I think white's the hottest, and blue's like the next hottest. So I wanted this like cool and unique looking design. I think I can get it. It is a very awkward sword shape, I will admit. Wow. I'm going to give a little bit of old man advice. And this is advice that I have been told and I did not listen to it. Take care of your body when you're young. Like, take decent care of it. I was saying earlier I had plans to do like fun stuff this weekend and they got canceled. They got canceled for like the dumbest reason, and it's a health reason. I twisted my ankle this weekend while like working by stepping out of a trailer and falling into a hole. It's not the first time I twisted my ankle this way. This is the third or fourth time I've twisted my ankle doing this. It's the second or third time twisting this specific one, and it's the worst I've ever done it. I've twisted so bad that it's actually starting to bruise now, and every once in a while it will pop. So that has been fun, and I'm like, I really wish I took better care of my health. Maybe this wouldn't have been as bad. But I am lazy. I'm a lazy American, and I live in an area that you can't always be active for 6 months out of the year. I know there are things that I probably could do to make myself active. I don't do those. Most of my activity comes in the summer. And I'm paying the price for it. So once I'm healed up, I'm pushing myself into be better health. Because I am sick of being like injured when I do get injured, just having terrible pain. Okay. I need the other blues to sneak in the middle just a little bit to make it a little more believable-ish. There. You can kind of see in the camera the darker in the middle and then it get brighter on the edge. I got one more brightness to jump up to. It'll probably be the brightest. I got one more I really do want to try jumping up to in brightness, but for what would be considered the power sword, it should be considered the brightest. And we're just going to take a little bit of that and just put it right on the edges. What's up, Jake? Good to see you here. You are probably watching the last stream that I do for Abaddon. And then after this, we're doing no more Chaos for a bit. We're taking a break from Chaos and moving to different things. Yeah. The Inquisition has come in and told me that I need to stop painting Chaos and that they need some representation. It's really starting to hurt their budget. The Inquisition has kept me safe from the likes of Chaos. They make sure I have a brick of corpse starch every day to eat, and that I have a place to live. They're also willing to not take me out back and go to the farm for being heretical. I know that sounds very un-Inquisition, but it's the truth. That's true. Honestly, that is true. I do keep getting kicked out of places. It's not my own fault for that, though. The people of the Imperium that own my lease are selling their property. I have to rent. It's just too expensive to live or to own a home in the Imperium. What's up, Taco Bell? I'm going to hold up to the camera. I wasn't sure. God, you guys really can't see it. And that's. I was going to say, you can't see it, but I got his sword to kind of look how I want it to. Now I gotta do the other side because I wasn't sure how it was gonna turn out. I don't usually try to do power swords like in the normal way people do them. I like doing a flaming sword style power sword. I think that just kind of works out better for me that way. But I hope you guys have been able to enjoy your week so far. I have. It was 4, now it's 3. I have 3 favorite Space Marine chapters. I don't know much like successor chapters, so I only know the main ones. List-wise, it goes Dark Angels, and then Salamanders, then Iron Warriors. That is my list for favorite Space Marine chapters. No worries. I'm glad you two could stop in for the little bit that you were here. And, Jake, I'm sure with you being gone, you're going to be more of a menace when you get back. So, I look forward to being harassed again. I will say very soon I will have my own favorite successor chapter. I'm doing some more work in the background of my custom Space Marine chapter. I got a color scheme down. I have a bit more lore in. And I'm working on their rank system. So I am looking forward to painting those. I know of some of the successor chapters you just mentioned. Guardians of the Covenant, I don't know. I've heard of Angels of Vengeance. I think they're Dark Angels successor chapter. Flesh Tears that I have heard of. They are not nice to civilians. Dark Krakens I do like. They have a cool color scheme, and they are very much Monster Hunter like inspired themed. And the Minotaurs, they just beat up the little guy. They almost just destroyed the Lamenters, and I don't like them for that. I didn't even realize the Lamenters were in that list. For Blood Angels, because I'm pretty sure Lamenters are Blood Angels, they are my favorite Blood Angel successor chapter. I love their color, and I love their checker pattern. But for not Dark Angel, Salamander successor chapters, I'm a fan of the Iron Drakes personally. I like the black and green color scheme. I need to find some duct tape and put it around my foot. They do. If you go to some of my first ever YouTube short, I painted the Iron Drake's color scheme. And someone thought I was painting, or they were like, oh, Iron, and then they were confused by Drake. They really try to make a joke, because most of the time it's like Iron Hands or Iron Warriors. But yeah, the top half of the Iron Drake color scheme is green, and then when you get down below the waist / pants, it goes black. And they have gold Aquila on the chest. When I was painting them, I changed it up and would put gold on the shin as a sign of like, oh, they're no longer like an initiate or something like that. They are a battle brother or something like that. And they would only get that marking if they did something like noteworthy in combat. At least that's how I painted and did them up. I'm also thinking I should have streamed this past weekend. Would have had a would have been a lot longer of a stream as well, but I don't know either. I definitely want to do like an early morning for me stream at some point. I definitely do want to paint out some other Space Marine chapters at some point just to like use the colors and stuff. But I got plenty of models as well that I can do for my own chapter. I'm tempted to if you're willing to pay for it. I won't just paint Marines for free. The only person I would paint Marines free for are myself and this one friend. I think after this, if he got more models, I'd be like, well, okay. No, I will keep painting Marines or models for him for free because I push him into Warhammer. So I will take this as the payment of he buys Warhammer, I will paint it up for him. But I'm curious, Jake, where are you going on vacation? No, exposure doesn't pay the rent. Exposure doesn't pay the rent. I don't think any artist should take payment in exposure. Like, if you really like the art, always pay for it. Actually, I'm the person, one of the only times I've ever had someone draw and make art for a D&D character I had, I paid them the full amount. I might have paid them a little bit extra. I think I paid them a little bit extra to be like, hey, money's not a thing here, and I really appreciate what you're doing. And I really like your art, so... Nice. Camping's always fun. It's one of my personal favorite ways of vacationing. Although I do know what glamping is, and I've seen my fair share of glamping before. Okay. Yes. Oh, that's too much there. I did too much on that. I got too overzealous. I would refuse it because I would probably have people already do that for me. I don't know if this is true story or not, so take it with a word of salt. Or a word of salt? Take it with a grain of salt. I had a friend who ran a... I guess now it's called X, but I'm going to call it Twitter. They ran a Twitter account, and they would go around and post... Or they would print out their tweets and then like store it in random spots and then take a photo and tweet about it. I think Norman Wheatspawn is the name of the Twitch account, not Twitch, Twitter account. And he doesn't post on it anymore. He probably should. He was always quite like a prankster and jokester. He's very similar to like your personality, Jake, is how I would say it. The way you talk in chat is similar. Honestly, with the way how YouTube's going, I wouldn't be surprised if this account did get like banned off of YouTube. Like, knowing my luck, I'm going to get any sort of traction, and then, we're going to delete your entire YouTube account. Which, they really don't have to. I'm probably going to end up doing that myself at some point. Not actually doing it. I used to have a lot of gaming videos on this channel, and I was going to privatize them all, and I got really sick of it, and I just deleted every single one. And then I realized there was a select all button that I could make those go into like hidden mode, and by that point I was already halfway through deleting all the old content. So if I ever talk about like deleting stuff on the channel, that's the only thing I'm talking about. I'm not going to delete anything off this channel anymore. There's not a need for that. I want there to be an archive of stuff on this channel. Also, Jake, do you think I'm the type of person that have Bitcoin in general? I spend my money on Warhammer. I don't got time for Bitcoins. from Warhammer somehow. Yeah, I sold my soul at a crossroads. That's how I'm able to pay for all this Warhammer. BRB, Granddad started talking about politics. I gotta get in verse. Best of luck with that. Okay, there we go. I'll pop that up. Trying really hard not to touch my other paint jobs and pull up the paint, but I think I got the sword done. So this is the front side. You can kind of see it. And this is the back side. I think the back side turned out better than the front. But usually that's what happens with the first, like, attempt on something. It doesn't turn out as great as if you keep consistently doing it. I'd say compared to the box art, I mean, the box art's a bit better, but I got that same idea going on. I think that's pretty good. I'm happy with myself with that. Now, I'm going to take this corn red real quick. I'm going to take just a smidget of it. And then we're going to put it on that little bit. Really, like, black and dark outside. And every once in a while, we would just see, like, a shooting star go by. And I've never seen one until last night. So it was pretty awesome to see. If you get a chance, go out and find an open spot with absolutely no light pollution or very minimal light pollution and watch it. I know it was really intense at the beginning of August and it's probably slowing down about now. But if you get a chance to watch it, go watch it. We live on a very cool floating rock in space. And there's a lot of interesting things out there. And we got to realize that. And go out there and experience it. Because one day you won't be able to. One day you won't be able to. But don't mind me. I'm just sounding like an old grandpa right now. But yeah, also with last night, I met up with two friends. One I did see a week ago. One I haven't seen like 5 or 4 months. Because he hides away in a compound for most of the time. Rich person's commune, compound, whatever. But yeah, we hopped on his boat and just chilled out there until midnight. I'm glad I met up with them. They're all... You ever have like a night where you just have like a really good chat with some friends? It's just like either you and that like really close friend or like you and like a very like few set of friends are very close together. And you just start like opening up about things you don't usually open up about to other people. That's how it was last night. At least for those two. I was the guy sitting in the corner just looking at the stars all night like, oh, look at that pretty star. Look at that one go by. Not that I didn't want to be part of the conversation. With what they were talking about, I had really no input on because I could not experience what they were going through. I have not experienced it myself. So... But I do not regret being out there with them and enjoying my time out there. Okay, with that, I'd say the sword is almost done. I just realized I could do the handle if I so choose. I probably should. Damn. Yeah, I should work and move on to the handle because if I do the metallic like I want to, I'm going to be touching a lot of those parts. I also got to figure out what I'm going to do for his hoses. I see. Okay, what do I want to do for that? There. What browns do I have on hand? Okay. My dog is trying to catch flies right now. And he's slamming himself into the wall. He's being funny. He's being a funny boy. Damn, should I have him on the base with no cape? Nah, I'm putting him on with a cape. I feel like Abaddon without a cape is just not. It's just it just doesn't work. And you know what? I think I will do. No, I am going to leave those black because I'm going to hit it with silver after this. Just test it. Yeah. Yeah, we are going to go with that. We're going to make it look like this. For those that were here in the past and remember the Chosen, or at least the Master of Execution when I was doing the skin cape, my mind is going back to that while I'm working on these cables on Abaddon. I'm like, these aren't black cables. These are cables that are laced with skin. And that's why they're fraying and breaking apart, because skin's not a good insulator for cables. But that doesn't matter to Chaos. If it works for the Chaos Gods, then it will be used. They got plenty of skin farms out there. Okay. Yeah, I will add in the leather. I was just going to stick with a darker color, but you know what? We can get a little bit of light in here. Has anyone been keeping up with the new, like, Kill Team boxes coming out? I saw the newest one for, like, Chaos and the Sisters of Battle. And I want to get that one, but I don't. I'll definitely give the Chaos models to my buddy who is playing Chaos. But I want to take those Sisters of Battle and turn them into Witch Hunters and use them in, like, AOS. I think that would look... Or I think they'd look really well. I don't think I'll ever build a Sisters of Battle army. But I definitely want to collect some of the models. I want to get Saint Celestine. And maybe a unit of Sisters of Battle. Probably not. I really just want Saint Celestine just because I think that would be a nice little trophy model to have on the shelf. Like a little collector's thing. Although, I am tempted to grab the Black Templar Codex that's coming out. Even though I don't play Black Templar, I like their aesthetic enough that I might use some of their battle doctrines for my own chapter. Because, I mean, who's going to stop me? If I make my own chapter, and I can just use, like, whatever detachments I want. then you know that's personally my choice. I should hold off on the spending. I should like wait and kind of decide what's important to grab and just build what I have already. I guess I'm moving on to the face now. Okay. It's probably when I should have painted the helmet or the face separate from the rest of it. How pale is Abaddon? Is like Abaddon super pale, or has he actually got a bit of like of a tan going on? He is extremely pale in the box art. Also, how the hell do they get so close? Well, I'm going to move up in brightness, I guess. Okay. I think I've built up to this right skin color. Can I revitalize the black at all? Just a little. It's going to get really watery if I do, but... Okay. Wipe it off. And then... I'm going to try... with this little brush, his eye. Yeah, I kind of gave him an eye. It's like hard to tell, but yeah, he's got an eye. Almost like a little bit of an eyeshadow as well. Okay. And I am going to just bring up his head. It's so hard to tell in this lighting. He's a lot more paler, I swear, and there is a tiny little marking for his eye in there. But looking at him from my angle, it's looking pretty good. I gotta take some of this black paint and hit nice. I think my friend's gonna like this model quite a bit. He is gonna be very happy with it. I'm happy with this model to begin with. I can't wait to play against this model. I don't know if you've ever played against an opponent that just has a really cool looking model. And you're like, damn, I know I'm getting my butt whooped or whatever, but this looks like an amazing model. I know I'm probably singing my praises a little bit too much. Someone can definitely point out the flaws I've done here and there, I bet, who's more skilled at this than I am. But I'd say this is pretty good for me. Oh, Who just did? Someone in my Discord, Aatrox, just posted their favorite mini, and I want that mini. I want that mini, Aatrox. I don't know if you're watching or not, but... I don't feel like enough models have really cool poses. So many of them just have like static running animation or standing animation, not animation, but pose and other stuff like that. Like, needs to be some more unique looking poses. I think we move over to metallics. I need my metallic and speed paint palette. Apologize about all the noises. I'm trying to like keep my leg propped up. I know I said this earlier, but I twisted my ankle this past weekend so bad that it bruised, and I'm trying to keep it iced and all that. So if you hear me sliding stuff around, it's like I'm moving the stand I'm using, and I'm trying to fix the ice pack at the same time. That stays there. I said earlier, if you are young or you're still able to move your body, take care of your body now while you still can. Because very soon you won't be able to. And I've been nagging myself all summer, like, I need to go out and do more stuff outside. Go be active. Go running. Go hiking. Like, go do some outdoor stuff. And I think this is me living with the consequences of my actions of not doing that stuff. A thought's popping in my head. If these were the towns of Horus, how big was Horus? Because these don't look that big in my personal opinion. Although, I will admit, with me saying, what's up, Hannibal? I am doing okay. I'm wondering how big these claws I'm painting up are actually like how big they are in real life, because they look. I know Space Marines are big, but they look kind of small for a Space Marine, personally. Okay, that might work. Oh, I need to be very careful where I touch on the model. I just realized I still had silver paint on my finger. Maybe. That's a good guess. I'm not I'm not good with measurements. I know I could look up 70 centimeters, and I should know how big that is because we use centimeters here as well. 27.5 inches. I feel like they'd be bigger than that because I know not all the Primarchs, but some of the Primarchs were quite a bit bigger. I think Horus was like in the middle, and these were something that ran through Sanguinius and the Emperor. So I'm just kind of like, are these accurately sized for what they used to be? But I don't know. 10,000 years is a long time in a warp, and maybe they did shrink down in size. Anyway, I hope you had a good weekend, Hannibal. Hope you got to do some fun stuff and enjoy yourself. I'm thinking we might have a D&D stream this week again. Like, I'm thinking about it. Like, either I work on the world map, or if anything, I actually work on the encounter. But I don't know. I probably shouldn't do that on a stream. I have other plans I'd rather do. But I do want to keep some people in chat here up to date on how that's going to go. I don't know how to feel about that comment right there, Hannibal. I don't know how to feel about that. Shrinking expectations. Well, that's good. Always good to have a balance of all that stuff. I feel like I've had I don't know where my balance has kind of been for myself. Like, I've been hanging out and meeting with people regularly or socializing. I probably could wish work was a little bit busy, although now we are getting a little bit busier. Ah, okay. Well, I did say that, but I took the expectation thing to be more like a real life thing. Like, it's funny. It's funny, and you are correct. But but it also felt way too real. Like, as I get older, my expectations just get a little less and less and less, and I'm like, I don't like that. That's too real, but that's also like true, very true. And I will admit I am like speeding through this a little bit because I do want to get Abaddon or this guy finished because I want to work on some other stuff. Your bandsaw started making funny noises. Well, I like. No, you're not a nihilist. You're German. Germans don't have a sense of humor. Remember, if the internet says Germans don't have a sense of humor, they don't have a sense of humor. Okay. Give me a sec and I will zoom in. My fingers are going to be covering that, but this is what we got going on. I know the lighting's not too well, but this stream, all I've done is the sword, like the blue part of the sword, all the brown handle parts, and working on the silver metallics on the miniature. I'm gonna definitely dull up the shiny silver bits, but this model's gone pretty quick. I thought he'd be a lot longer. I do have his cape here that I am gonna finish because I just gotta do the black part up here and the little section here and his base. So I do have quite a bit more to do, but on this guy it's the silver and all the skulls and bone sections. So I'm gonna try and hold them up. I'm happy with how the model's turning out. Like I was saying earlier, I am going to be looking forward to playing against this model. Because this is for a friend. This is not my own personal model. Yeah, you could certainly say that, Hannibal. He could be the LGB supporter. And that was kind of the joke when I was first making him, like, maybe I should do his flag in the LGB colors. Because I've seen people do them in, like, synthwave colors. But I did these 4 colors for the 4 Chaos Gods. In my head, one, I tried to paint it as evenly as possible for all the colors. I couldn't really get there. Excuse me. But depending on what Abaddon's doing, one of the 4 colors could be larger or smaller than the rest, but it's never just one solid color. It's always changing. Because depending on like which Chaos God is giving him more favor and all that. But thank you. I am trying to figure out how to shorten your name. Deck. I'm going to call you Deck. Thank you, Deck. It has been a fun project to work on them. It all started with a couple of Chaos Chosen that I was doing for the buddy as his own personal kill team. And then some Terminators, which are not finished yet, but I will finish at some point. And now we have Abaddon, which this was supposed to be a surprise, but of course, if I'm live streaming anything, it isn't going to stay a surprise. But this is a very early birthday present for him. I'm getting to the point that it's harder to find spots to hold on to, and all the spots I used to, I'm just going to take paint off of. So I need to find new spots. Oh, the chain. I forgot about the chain that's holding on that little skull. No, the trap. So the D&D trap suggestions that you had are perfect. I gotta sit down and make the encounter and all that. But I've decided what I'm gonna do for the encounter. For those that are new here or have not been part of that stream, I did a stream where I made a D&D map for a D&D session that I'm going to be running with some friends on the 30th. And their first encounter is going to be with some, like, bandit, zombie, gnoll-like creatures. Mostly, like, bandit and zombies. I'm going to minus out the gnolls. But they're going to be dealing... I've been doing research into how to run better bandits and goblins and kobolds and just better monsters in general. And the thing that I always forget is that if you're running a human NP or a human like monster, they have the same intelligence as a regular human, so they can use traps and they can use their brain to make like life harder for the players to try and find them and get them. So Hannibal here, I reached out to him, and he gave me a bunch of trap suggestions, which I am going to use. The main thing is they're coming up. The players are going to be coming upon an old farm or ruin that is now being used as a hideout for a bunch of bandits that are raiding caravans and stuff in the area. So that is what Hannibal is asking, is if those trap suggestions will work or not, and they will. I wanted to give the bandits some pet, like wolves and stuff anyways, so having pack tactics with the wolves would be perfect. I'm starting the players off at level 3, so they're not just a bunch of squishy guys. I want them to hold their own. Here's an odd little thing I want to say. Do you guys ever wish you could take, like, your body parts off? Or just, like, pop them in and out? I currently want to do that with my ankles so bad. I'm not going to repeat again why. But it is... It's just pressured. It feels like if I just pop it, like a Mr. Potato Head or a Barbie head, just pop it off and pop it back in, it'll be fine. I haven't decided on loot yet. Maybe the loot will be the hideout itself, and that they can use it as a base of operations. Although it'd be really early on to give them like a base of operations like that in a campaign. I think I gotta wait a little bit for it. Yes, I did hurt myself at work. I twisted my ankle on Saturday. And I twisted it so bad that it's actually bruised around the joints. The swelling's gone down, but it swelled pretty bad. I've been able to now I could walk on it Monday a little bit, and I got better throughout the day. And today I can definitely walk on it a lot more. I shouldn't be walking on it, and I know that. It's not broken because it's not disformed or anything like that. I've looked into it. I didn't go to the hospital. I know, shocking. An American won't go to the hospital for like a health reason. But it's not the first time I've twisted my ankle either. This has been like either the fourth or fifth time I've done it. So I'll be fine. I'll keep going. But to summarize it, we're getting ready to do a end of the year sale at my job, and there's a bunch of stuff that was stored in a trailer. So I was loading into the back of a dump truck, and when I went to step out of the trailer, my left foot fell into a hole. And you know, like when you crack your knuckles, you got those. I don't know if you guys heard those or not. But I felt 3 of those in my ankle and then a sharp pain. I fell down and I was fighting the urge to... I couldn't tell if I wanted to pass out or throw up or both. It was that kind of pain. But I'm like, I'm just going to lay here and deal with it the best I can. I knew there was no one I could call to help me. Because one, I was by myself. And all my family members were at work. Or were doing something that they could not leave at the moment. So I laid down there for a little bit, hopped back into the truck, and then I drove that truck as close to the building as I could, got inside, and lay down on the couch inside, and finally called my boss, who's also my mother, and be like, hey, I know there's nothing you can do. And she eventually came down with like some ice and some Tylenol, and luckily I worked from like 9 to 1 that day, and I twisted my ankle at like 11:40. So like the last hour of work, I just couldn't do anything. Luckily, I had no customers show up the rest of the day. I mean, luckily, but also unluckily, like I was there to make money and hopefully bring us in some money. So yeah. Okay, read what Hannibal said. I feel ya. I got a permanent wrist injury like 6 years ago. Now I can't train with weights properly anymore. It really sucks. But to you, get well soon, sir. Thank you. I appreciate that. It might be a torn ligament. Either for yourself, you're saying it might be a torn ligament or something. If it is a torn ligament, at that point, it is just surgery to like get it connected. I think I'll be fine. It's not. I don't think it's a torn ligament. It's just tendons and stuff. If I wore some like taller shoes that wrapped around my ankle, I don't think it would have popped at all. The first time I actually rolled my ankle, it was another dumb reason. I am... no, I'm not done with the metallics. I need this one. The first time I did it, it was, again, with my left ankle. And I jumped out of a moving Jeep. We're going like maybe 10 or 15 miles an hour. And I jumped out of a moving Jeep because I had to go take a piss. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to go take a piss in the woods. And it's like, we're going slow enough that I can hop out of this vehicle. I shouldn't have. We're in this field that's like got a bunch of random holes and stuff in it. So I... Oh, mine. Mine could be, yeah. If it is, I probably should go to the hospital and check on it, but I think I'll be fine. I'm able to walk on it, and if it's still like in pain about a week and a half later, then maybe I'll look into doing that. But at that point, it should be relatively well healed up. But anyway, to finish my story, I hopped out of this moving Jeep and my left foot fell into a hole and I twisted my ankle. There was no pop or crack, but it definitely like, oh wow, that hurts. And like I've never done that before in my life. So I was like, hey, you guys go on without me. I'll be fine. I hobbled 500 feet, I think, from the middle of this field up to my friend's house. I shouldn't have. I should have, like, had them take me back up. Or I should have never hopped out of the vehicle, period. No, when I hopped out of the moving vehicle, I was not even 20. I was, like, 17 or 18. I am not 20 anymore right now, but through my early 20s, I have constant contact. It sucks with the line of work that you do when you work like a construction style job or physical thing like that. One wrong move and you are going to hurt yourself in that kind of way. And it's, you don't think about it because you're young. You're like, oh, I'll bounce back and I'll heal fine. But, you know, as you get older, that's not the case. Unless you do keep, like, yourself in, like, good fitness condition. Which I really haven't. And it sucked more because I was going to go for a hike this past weekend again and be, like, out and about. But I'm good. I'm healing. The crappy part is I knew, like, as I was going out the trail, like, I need to be really careful. Because, like, one wrong step and I'm going to hurt myself. And lo and behold, I hurt myself. So, I'm going to be taking things a lot more easy here on out. And focus more on my health. Moving forward. And you people should be as well. I'm not sure everyone's ages in chat, but yeah, as we stay active and stuff, our bodies will continue to function properly. I pay for my own insurance, but I'm stubborn enough to just work through the pain. I felt very guilty these past couple days because, like, I'm afraid people are going to think I'm faking it when I'm not. Ow, I just kind of twitched my ankle a little bit and made that hurt. The main positive thing is day by day, it's feeling better. I think like where I live, you have to have health insurance. Like it's a mandatory thing. Like in the state that I live, it's a mandatory thing, which is a positive. But in the U.S., health insurance isn't cheap. I'm not paying the cheapest one. I don't know what I'm paying or what I have. I was paying one company $80 a month for my health insurance, and I'm like, I'm gonna go with this one, thinking of myself in the future. I didn't go with the cheapest one. I went with like the middle one. Maybe it's just the fly in your food. No, $80. I was paying like $80. If I did just say 8, that was wrong. I meant 80. Oh, you. Oh. I thought like Europe was a lot cheaper when it came to um, health insurance and stuff like that. Yeah, no, God, if I was paying $8 for health insurance, I think I think it would cost less just to go to. I'm not going to finish that joke. That is too inappropriate for YouTube. Uh, I don't know if my employer does or not. The other thing is like my employer is also my parents, so it's a good question. And that's kind of the tough thing where it's like I know I could probably get workman's comp for what I'm doing. I don't want to. One because it's family, and second, like I'm still working and going through. I actually had one boss. This wasn't with the company I'm working with now. This was a restaurant job I had. I was working as a dishwasher, and I was stepping outside in winter to go take out the trash, and I was walking on the steps, and I just took like a little slip. Like, oh, I slipped and I just hit my knee on the ground. It's fine. Like, I'm not. Uh, I don't know what the taxes are like. I think I make $22 an hour at my current job. I might make 25. We'll be safe and say 22. And I work and even though I am on a construction job, I am salary with the ability to get overtime. So I make 40 hours a week no matter what. Plus, if I work over 40 hours, I get that overtime pay. Um, I know with my check, I get like 650 in my checking, and $100 of that. No, 650 goes into the checking, and 100 goes into the savings. Or I might have like 550 that goes in. I haven't checked. I need to grab my phone and check. I'm talking way too much about my own personal financing here. I do know compared to the U.S., there are other countries that pay way more in taxes than we do, and Americans complain about the taxes we already pay. And we don't get as many benefits. Honestly, like a few of the taxes that we do pay were only meant to be temporary, but now they've stuck around so long, people just forgot that they're meant to be temporary. Like income tax here in the US. Yeah, I'll stop. I'll just stop about it. Yeah, it is private. I realized halfway through, I'm like, what's going on? I think that's what kind of happens. I just start talking and don't realize till after fact, like, wow, I really shouldn't be talking about this. That should be gold. Yeah, we'll continue with that one. So yeah, I slipped and like maybe scuffed my knee. Not even a cut or a scrape. And I'm like, oh. I like went to my coworkers like, oh hey, I just like slipped on the ice outside. Like that's like it was kind of funny. Like ha ha ha. Like I'm thinking nothing of it. My head manager at the time like heard about it through some of the people, and he was like, hey, are you okay? Like, do you need to like call anyone to us? So I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. I just slipped on the ice. It's nothing to worry about. I didn't realize at the time that he was checking to see if like they needed to file a workman's comp thing or if I was going to. I had no idea of any of that stuff at the time. It was like the first kind of job like that I actually worked. I realized that after the fact, I'm like, oh, like there's no point in doing workman's comp because I just slipped a little bit. I didn't hit my ice. I'm not like incapacitated not to work. Some people I know will take advantage of the system and do that, but I don't see that as being fair. Like if it's an accident, then it, okay, depending on the accident, workman comp should not be involved. Like if it's a little, oh, I just slipped on the ice and like slightly like hit my knee, but I can still walk and do everything else fine, then there's no need to pull in workman's comp. If you hurt yourself and you can't work, then yeah, workman's comp is when I would pull that in. Anyway, on a different topic, I've been watching another streamer recently named Spieling. They're a New Zealand streamer or VTuber, and I've been enjoying their content. I think right now they are live streaming themselves building a demon pimp. They're taking a bunch of like different Warhammer bits and stuff and making a pimp, and they're calling it. It's a pimp named Slipback. Slickback. I don't know if anyone ever watched like the Boondocks. I think is the name of the show. I didn't, but it's a big enough meme that I know it. But no, I've been in there enjoying their content and hanging out and vegging. There's a few streamers that like I want to always recommend people like go watch and see that I think are good. Or at least if I get a chance to. Like I don't think me shouting out a larger streamer than to myself is really going to make much of a difference, but I just want to share, you know, ones that I like and ones that I think other people would like. Mm-hmm. Oh, you mean like subscribers? I don't know. I've hit like the 189 a few times, but I think what's happening is someone who used to watch me finds the channel and then like unsubs when we get someone new, or like someone who has subbed before on the stream realizes like, I don't like the guy's content as much as I used to, so then they just unsub. Nothing wrong with it. Like, if this is where I'm gonna be for a bit, then you know I'm gonna be at this 197 mark for a bit. I mean, am I a little bit disappointed? A little bit, but at the same time, you know, it's just a number. It's just a number. I don't really need to care about the growth. I'm happy with the community that is here and sitting here and chatting with me. Like the very few people that do decide to sit and chat and talk. Sell T-shirts with 197. Take advantage of that. Probably could. Probably could. Oh, the 197 is not a bad name for something else in general. I'm thinking like if I was to name God, if I was to open a Patreon, I kind of want to name it the 197. Like, come join the 197 and be like the first 197 people to join. After that, no one else can join. It's only this amount of people. Like the name of the chat. I think the name of chat is the voices. You guys are the voices in my head that I have to talk to. But calling you guys the 197 is really good. We are the 197 era. That's not bad. I like that. I need to get some black speed paint and hit that down. I've moved on to working on this, but I think all I have left on Abaddon is the skulls here. So I'm like, why not do all the black down there and then do the base? And that will get us pretty good. The 197s. I like that. Nope, nope. Some of those don't need to be in that particular drawer. Okay. But we'll definitely push it at one point. I am... okay, how am I going to... I'm trying to think on how to word this. I know I've talked about other videos I've worked on, or I'm saying I'm going to work on. I do need to finish the Inquisitor cosplay. I think I just have a few little things I got to do, and then we're good there. And then I can do the video on that. And then what else? I want to do a Warhammer, like building a Warhammer board video. And I'm working on my own custom Space Marine chapter at the moment. I'm going through and creating the lore and the color scheme for it. I'll try to have a smithing video at some point. I do have a spot that I have all my stuff in a spot. I'm not set up to do any of it. I've been taking my time on doing other things. So, like, currently this is my week schedule that I'm choosing to do. I am working and then taking 3 days a week to do live streams. I then, on the days that I don't live stream, I try to take that time to either meet up with friends and chat with them or play games with friends that I'm not able to during the week. So I am slacking on the content making side of it, but I'm choosing to be social with people while I can. Because I feel like very soon I won't be able to. The weather's really nice and warm where I am, and I want to take advantage of it as much as possible. Once the snow starts flying is when I kind of have to get stuck inside and not really do too much. So that's almost the better time for me to do that kind of stuff. But I could also take time out of my schedule to make these videos, and I probably should. What's up, Jake? Welcome back. Your grandpa done ranting about politics? Grandma? I thought I said grandpa. Did I say grandma? God, I'm not even getting my own previous conversations correct anymore. Oh, okay. You're just doing hashtag. Oh, God. I'm questioning myself so much nowadays. It just devolved to my family having an early Thanksgiving. Oh, Lord. Well, as long as no one got hurt, ended up in jail, dead, or in debt, I think you're fine. Classic Brits. I like that. We're Canadians. Oh, God. When a Canadian gets angry, everyone needs a duck. I don't know if this is true or not, but when a Canadian gets angry, they pull out the Geneva Convention. Okay. We do. I know most of the time people paint this ground like brown and stuff like that. Okay. Hey, we don't need to reenact World War II or 1 here. We can all get along. We can all be fine. It was a joke. Just like how Hannibal's thing is a joke. I'll be Hulk. I'm Superman. I won. Okay, well then what if we bring in Chuck Norris? No one can beat Chuck Norris. By the way, I'm going to do my quick little... If you haven't yet, drink some water, get up, stretch your legs. Go do that right now for like at least 5 minutes. Don't drink water straight for 5 minutes. Just drink some water. If you're going to get up and move for at least 5 minutes. Get your blood pumping. Okay, now I need to do the bone colors. Your whatever birthed him? No, Chuck Norris was not born. He spawned out of nothing. The only thing that made Chuck Norris was Chuck Norris. Okay. Funny enough. So, I'm going to distract you guys for a second. This bottle of paint that I have that says Desert Effect. This is an Army Painter paint, but it's a part of the Game Master set, like for D&D terrain and stuff. On the side, it says matches Brain Matter Beige. Beige. And I already have said Brain Matter Beige. I thought that they were slightly darker, different colors, but no, they're the exact same. So I'm going to be using this one before I use any of my other ones. I did not know that. Okay, come here, Mr. Abaddon. Actually, we are going to clean those up. I'm thinking I will actually do the next one on Thursday, and then Friday, and maybe have a Saturday one. Maybe. Depends on how I feel. If I do Saturday, I'll do it like the first thing when I wake up. So, but to stay focused, Thursday. Thursday is the next stream. I know I haven't posted a schedule, but Thursday's the next one. Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening, Hannibal. It was nice to see you. And get some rest. So how are all the lurkers in chat doing tonight? You guys enjoying yourselves? Well, I understand they're not going to tell me. Maybe one of them would. But I can still ask and talk to them. They're still there. They're still people, Jake. It's good to ask how they're doing. They might not respond, but at least I am letting them know I care. Yeah. They're probably feeling rage because we're calling, or I'm saying something to them. They probably want to get a bunch of skulls for the skull god and some blood for the blood. No, they want to get some skulls for the skull throne and blood for the blood god. Oh, shoot. You know what? I forgot. I had a different paint that I could put on before that one, and I forgot it's in my top shelf of my paints. This brain matter one I'm using is supposed to be the highlight color on top. I should be using Wraithbone to give me more of that weathered bone color. I will say for those that are new here and are just kind of watching and enjoying the content, if you want to be a part of the community, I have a Discord that is completely free to join. It is in the channel description. It is just a spot for people like myself and other crafters or creators or people that enjoy doing stuff to go and share their hobbies whether that be Warhammer or D&D, metalworking, woodcraft, cosplay, anime. It is open to all that kind of stuff. We recently actually opened a book section to talk about Warhammer books, but I think books in general. Or at least I gotta make that section. I want to hear about this personally. How did you confuse the word chest with, like, chest as in the, like, thing that holds items? No, I'm gonna keep thinking of the kind of chest that I was talking about. This is a pious place where the Emperor watches. Don't mind that I'm painting a Chaos Marine. I am a Emperor worshipping man. Okay, to read off what Jake said, it may surprise you to know I'm not always a particularly attuitive individual. Attentive, not attuitive. Attentive individual. I feel like that's fair enough. I don't always pay attention to things going on around me either. I clearly thought attentive was attuitive there for a moment. I'm waiting with bated breath to hear the rest of Jake's story. But it's going to take him 15 years to reply. Oh, that's it? Oh. I thought there'd be a lot more to this story. I'm like, wow, he's taking a real long time to finish his story. last week you got that corrected. Okay. r/feminist. I'm surprised, but also I shouldn't be surprised that there is a subreddit called that. Although my first thought is like anything called r/feminist is not full of actual feminists. Just for the little bit that I know of Reddit, it doesn't seem like it's full of the actual group. Just like how r/am I the a I don't remember the acronym, but it's like r/am I the asshole or not isn't the actual like proper spot to put that, or it isn't where it started. I'm not on Reddit to begin with, so I don't know any of this lingo or stuff. Reddit and like 4chan and all that just never really intrigued me. Oh, this brush. I am pushing it to its limit tonight. You know, I need to make quite a few posts on Instagram soon. I haven't posted any updates, and I've completed like 3 or 4 paint builds on the channel. I think 2. I think I've only completed 2. Okay, now we're going to take a little bit of that, and then we're going to hit it here. So I'm just taking a little bit of brain matter right now. Not actual brain matter, but the brain matter beige. And using that to just kind of highlight where I think the light is hitting it. But not doing like an actual highlight, just like a little sun fading kind of highlight. I'm really mostly just dry brushing it on to catch the recesses and the high spots. One last spot. I wonder how often Abaddon replaces the skulls on his back. Like, how many get switched out? Does he, like, find a new favorite skull to put on there, or... Oh, I almost got it. Hold on. There we go. Okay, I know you guys can't see him, but he looking pretty good on that base. I do have a color scheme I want to do for the Space Marine parts, but I'm waiting until I'm done with my own personal thing before I paint those. I'm definitely excited to share the homebrew chapter once I have it done. I think one of these streams will be a testing of the, or we'll test the paint scheme live on stream, see how it looks on the actual models, not just drawn or painted up. But I like the home world that I'm putting my Marines on. Oh, I should have done the skulls first and then done the black paint. Wow, I was dumb. Oh no, I wanted to try and cover as much as I could anyways. I'll fix it. I mean, it's not an original idea for a home world, I will admit. It's similar to like most other death worlds out there. Like, it's unhospitable for people ready to live, but we find a way to live there anyways. And I'm stealing like a few franchises that, or at least one franchise that I really enjoy, that I wanted to, you know, just kind of make into a planet. And I've talked about before. To summarize my Space Marine chapter's homeworld, it's just Jurassic Park 2 and 3, but on steroids. Instead of it just being an island, it's a whole planet. And the lore that I'm thinking is that this was a Elven Exodite, I think is their name, homeworld. Or, yeah, it used to be, and then the elves, like, left or died or whatever. I'm not going to get into the lore about it. Humans came on to the planet and were like, hey, this planet's kind of cool. Let's try to get all the creatures into a giant park and we'll make money by showing it off to the rich people and get a bunch of rich people to come here. And they did for the whole planet. They had a bunch of different outposts and stuff like that. But then something happened, whether that be a warp storm or incompetence, who knows. The entire planet lost. The entire planet lost every single outpost besides one that they call the Pit. It's the only place that the creatures on the planet avoid. I probably should talk about this more in its own stream, but that's what I've been working on my own. I won't talk any more about it. I will save that for next stream. So for those that are here, you got a little bit of an insight to it. The dog is whining at me for attention. I'm probably going to stop for a second and actually give him a couple pets so he doesn't whine anymore, but then he'll whine again. Am I missing any skulls? Yeah, right there. Okay. I feel like we're close. Oh, there is one more thing on Abaddon that I need to finish. Where is it? There it is. Need my green speed paint real quick. Come here, Abaddon. We gotta do the little eye right there. I want it so that the gold does kind of shine through a little bit. Nothing too crazy, but showing off the model right now. I got also one more spot, just a tiny little skull image on his shoulder right there, but that is looking like a very nice and clean Abaddon, in my opinion. Probably could do some edge highlighting here and there. Maybe I will do that on a later date. Okay. I do got that little bit of gold on the basing there and there. I think I'm almost to the point that I can just glue him down to the base, but no, I got the flame on the base. I'm going to move over to his cloak. His cloak is the next big thing that needs to be done. Because I got to do all this little fur bit. I'm going to hit this with the black speed paint and then move up in the grays. Because I want it to be like a black fur cloak. There it is. Let's be quick about this. Wow, against that paint on primer, that actually makes some really good looking highlights and stuff. Okay. This should not be the brush I used the dry brush on, but it's going to be. Okay. To save this brush a little bit more time of life, we're going to switch it from being a dry brush and go with one of my more cheaper beat up ones. Okay. Is it time, Abaddon? Is it time I cover up some of the paint? I think it is time. We're going to finally add on the cloak. I painted that little skull on the shoulder for nothing because it's just going to get covered, but oh well. Is this supposed to move up more? I don't think so. I think it sits just like that. Now, find a little bit. Come on. Okay. I can do a little bit more with the cape, but now that's on there. Here we go, the cape on the back. All 4 Chaos Gods on it. And we got them from the front. Got it billowing in the wind. Okay, I need to go check on what the dog's barking at. I will be right back, I promise. You are so cute. So cute. Okay, I am back. So, what can I do here? What colors do I have? I'm gonna. Oh, see my light. Is that red still active? Not really. Do I want to do green and then a white eye? I can give it a try. Worst I do is I put some paint back on it. Done a little bit too much, but it's not just green. Decided to throw a little white on. I'll then take that speed paint I have and just clean up around those edges. Okay. Mr. Abaddon, I'm going to set you to the side. And I'm going to work on your base for a bit. Definitely have to touch up a couple things here and there after rubbing some paint off, but all I got left on the base besides the Space Marine bits, but I'll wait till a different date, it's just that flame. Now, I could do red or stuff like that, but I think we're going to take a little bit of inspiration from Age of Sigmar, and we're going to turn this into a green flame. And I'm only going to use two colors. I'm going to use Eternal Hunt and Emerald Forest to make us that warp green flame look. I do need to touch up. Well, I do want to give everything a nice wash as well. But I'll worry about that after. wonder if this would be the nice time to have like a airbrush where you're a little bit more precise on where you want to hit it. Would kind of do a glow effect as well. There's our base. It's time to go up in brightness. Might be a little bit too bright. It's coming together slowly. It's not anything perfect. It's not even fully that green flame look I was hoping for. Bring it up to the camera. That's kind of what we're working with. It's very weird, like, yeah, snot-like consistency is what I will say. There. Getting my brightest color in now, and now it's doing what I wanted it to do. At least close to it. Sure, if I added a little bit of white in there at the highest points, it'd be even better. Yeah. Again, I know it's not easy to see on camera, but we got ourselves a little bit of a green flame. I'm going to take a little bit of this color. A few little bullet casings here and there need to be touched up. There's so many shell casings. Okay. Some really big bolter casings on here. I guess I do need to add a little bit of gold paint down here. Much that I want to add, I will. Just doing a quick double check to see if I missed anything on it. Okay. And we got the base done. All those little bits of gold here and there. Now, I'm going to throw down some glue and actually put Mr. Abaddon on the base. And I'd say we are close to being done. There's a little cleanup stuff that I can do. That will be off-camera stuff. I think for the stream, we'll consider him nice and finished. Wow, look at that. Look at that. Got Abaddon on his base right there. Is he able to stay? Yeah, he's already like glued down on there. I know if I give him a little bit of a wash and touch up a few things here and there, I think he would look amazing. There are a couple things I do need to wash, being like the metallic parts on him, I think would do really well with a wash. But yeah, this has been such actually a nice build to do. I do need to touch up on the cape a little bit. How are we on time? We hit the 3-hour mark exactly. Okay. I think I'm going to call it here for a night. I'm excited to give this to my buddy. I hope you all enjoyed the stream. I enjoyed having you all here and chatting with everyone. Now, if you enjoy the content here, feel free to leave a like and subscribe. I try to stream 3 times a week. This week it will be Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, and maybe Saturday, depending on how I personally feel. If I do Saturday, it'll be an early morning stream. But yeah, next one will be Thursday at 7 p.m. Standard Eastern Time. Now, with that all being said, I want you to go out there and make something awesome. I know you will.